Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is the 21st of December, 2021. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. We do the disclaimer. Use allegedly. Nobody's been convicted in a court of law just yet. Apply the but for and the reasonable person standard. But for Mr. Perry stalking and harassing me, there wouldn't be a podcast. And what would any reasonable person do who's being stalked? Um, she said, bring awareness to it. And she did. And the entire country got behind her because people don't like your deviant behavior. It is extremely offensive. It is illegal to stalk in all 50 states. Also, we assert all constitutional rights which you're trying to take from me, and you don't get to do that. So, again, we repeat the same thing. Mr. Perry, everybody, people think that Mr. Perry has Alzheimer's. When I say people, I mean he's got 40 police officers investigating him for sexual exploitation of women and children. And that started before I moved to Lubbock. That's been ongoing for some time. There's a big group, there's a lot of crime, a lot of people, so it's taking a while, longer than I want, believe me. And but things are happening that he's never seen before. When he goes at me, he gets told on. When he causes a hardship for me, he gets told on. When he pisses me off because he's causing a hardship for me, or invading my privacy, or contacting me after he's been told over and over and over, I don't care what you think. Shut up and get out of my life. Go away. I don't care what you think. You were not asked. He never shuts up. He's always typing in my phone stuff. I mean, it's just unbelievable the harassment that I have had been subjected to. He does it different than this guy, but he's doing the same thing. So what happens is sometimes when you've got a racketeering type criminal organization, is people, Mr. Perry, will not tell you to your face what they really think. They're scared that you're going to do to them what you did to me, but they will talk behind your back, and they are. And that makes it easy to get information as to what you want to do to hurt me. It makes it very easy. You've got 3,700 emails. If they were from me, those emails are about something you got caught trying to do to me. And you always ask who told, and you're not getting it. It's why they told. That is the issue. Who told is not something even I know. I'm not told that because nobody is going to put those people in danger, sir. So people might be too afraid to say something to your face, or they've been told not to. But believe me, behind your back, disgruntled folk everywhere. Disturbed, creeped out folk everywhere. I'm not into you. You got to be normal to ride this ride. So this girl had a guy that was a little more open about the way he stalked. Mr. Perry does it through hacking. He's a peeping Tom. He's he'll have his little meetings with the guys he hires. He'll send somebody to me to say something like Pinto, Mickey James, Terry Wagner, Mr. Robertson, on and on and on, Joel. And there's many more that I didn't record or didn't get a text from, didn't that came to my work where I am in the forum state of Oklahoma to creep me out or say some disgusting thing to me. Some of these guys said they wanted me to say this to you or do this to you, and I was like, no, I'm not weird. I'm just fucking not like that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not a weirdo. Mr. Perry isn't getting it. Mr. Perry, I'm not into you. I think you're a big turnoff. I think you are a big, ugly monster turnoff. You absolutely disgust me. I moved twice, sir, to get away from you. So did she. She had to move too. Why would a woman have to move to get away from a man who has no control over himself and can't get a grip on reality? I didn't have to move once. I had to move twice and start all over. And the goal was to avoid a conflict, Mr. Perry. I didn't tell anybody what you were doing to me for 4 years. I didn't go to the media with it. I didn't try to hurt you with it. I told a few close friends, so if I ended up dead, everybody would know what happened to me. That's it. Only a few close friends knew for 4 years. You're not a victim of anything. In your mind is delusional. It's diseased. You're sick. Our shrink has had like, I don't know, I think she said 6 elder care doctors look at your file. They're pretty convinced because of the need to repeat the same thing over and over and over that you have Alzheimer's, sir. That you can't remember. That you're not putting things together that a 5-year-old could put together. When you mess with me, sir, you get told on. 3,700 times that you have. Philip has probably 3 times that. We have 10 times that. What do you think? Why do you think we're doing all this, sir? Do you think we're just gonna, oh well, it's okay. When you contact me, when you invade my privacy, you're taking something from me you don't have the right to take. There was never consent for you to peep. You're sitting around like doing what a 1-year-old little girl can do. Watching TV, playing with little kid toys. It embarrasses me. You embarrass me. There's no dignity in that. There's no dignity. You don't have anything real. You have an imaginary something. You're never going to get a date with me, and you need to get a grip on reality. I left. That was 8 years ago, sir. I've made no effort to see you. I've made every effort I can make to get away from you, to get you off me. You have come into my home. You're making me feel raped, and I'm kicking you off. And you don't get that. And the more you fuck with me, the more you get told on. And you guys are seeing things happen you've not seen before ever in your lives. And you're not putting it together that you're poking something. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they can do. They can do more than anybody else has done in your lives, right? I said, leave me the fuck alone. I said, Mr. Perry, leave me the fuck alone. You're pissing everybody off because you're ignoring my rights and wishes. That is a mental disease called antisocial disorder. You don't give a shit about who you hurt or how bad you hurt them. You don't give a shit about the suffering you've caused me and everybody else. All you care about is that you can sit around all day on your fat, lazy ass, perverting around, bothering everybody, and you get a thrill out of that. It's disgusting to everybody else, so don't ask who told on you. Why are they telling on you is the question, sir, that you need to answer to yourself. Nobody likes what you're doing to me. Nobody likes what you're putting me through. Nobody likes it, sir, or the Neelys, or the Millers, or any other victim. And there's a lot of victims, aren't there? Look at this.
Amen. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Fine, not cute. It's garbage.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof.
You don't have the right to contact me. You don't have the right to peep. It is a crime. Voyeurism, stalking, harassment, trying to cause fear, trying to cause intimidation, trying to manipulate, trying to control someone that doesn't even like you is a crime in all 50 states. Hacking. Mr. Perry, leave me alone. Mr. Perry, leave me alone. Mr. Perry, I'm not into you. You'll never get a date with me. You need to get a grip on reality, sir. You will never get a date with me, ever, Mr. Perry. Write that down. I don't like you. I don't want your attention. I want you to get the fuck out of my life and never contact me again. Those are my wishes, sir. I have the right in this country to not like you. You don't have the right to force yourself on me like a rapist, and you make me feel raped. I don't find you attractive. I don't think you're cute. I agree with that man. You're not cute. You disgust everybody. You disturb everybody, and you get told on and told on and told on and told on. 8 years ago, I left because you're pathetic. I don't want to have an affair with you. I don't want to be your mistress. I don't want to be your wife. I don't want anything. I don't even want to be your friend. Write it down. You will never get a date with me. I can't stand you. You got to be normal to ride this ride, and you're far from norm. You're far, 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 far outside social norms. You are as deviant criminal as they come. Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513. Fucking read it, damn it. Read it. If your attorney can't understand it, get one that can. You're about to go to prison over that. You know, there's a very thin line between a vigorous defense and conspiracy to commit a crime, Mr. Warman. I'm telling you right now, if you have 3,700 emails, sir, and then we got this one this morning because Mr. Perry just keep going at it and keep going at it and keep going at it. I'm going to say this to you very clearly one more time. If you can't understand it, it's your problem. When you peep, when you hack, when you make any contact with me at all, Mr. Perry, in any form at all, the longer I'm broke because of you, the longer Mike Neely is sitting in jail because of you, the harder 40 police officers go at you. So we wrap this up and you're gone. Mr. Warman, Mr. Giles, Mr. Matzner, Mr. McGew, whatever the hell your name is, Mr. Goodwin, there's a very fucking thin line between vigorous defense and conspiracy to commit a crime. RICO Act, read it. You're in some deep shit. You're in deep. If you have 3,700 emails from me, Mr. Warman, and I sent them, and we're getting stuff like this, I think you better watch out, because this has not happened to you before, has it? You're pissing people off. You're outside social norms. You're outside what society has said will tolerate this conduct, and this conduct we will not. And a lot of that, when we founded the country, since you guys are church people, the 10 Commandments, don't steal, don't kill, don't bear false witness against your neighbor, don't go into court of law and lie, don't covet stuff that is not yours, Perry. I don't like you. It doesn't go both ways. It's been 8 years. Move the fuck on. Move on. There's nothing there. It is all in your head. You are making a fool of yourself. You look ridiculous. You look ridiculous. I don't like you. You're a turnoff. You're not interesting. You're a bizarre bore. Women don't like getting peeped on. Our shriek has told everybody, fucking everybody that's in this need to know. He hates her. It's not about a romance. If she said over and over and over, here's what I like in men, and this is what I don't like in men. And he does everything she hates. And the more she says she hates it, the more he does it. This is about a cover-up. It was never about a date. It was always about a cover-up of sex crime. Don't lie. Don't kill. Don't steal. Don't covet. Don't put any other gods before you, like your dick, because it's getting you in a lot of trouble right now. Don't bear false witness against your neighbor. Don't commit adultery. I'm not into you. Take the fucking hint. I left. It's been 8 years. You've not gotten any reciprocation from me at all in 8 years. If you're imagining something, that's your problem. Go see a shrink. I don't like you. I feel like you just, like, I don't even know how to describe the way my skin crawls every time you contact me. You keep acting like you think I care what you think. I don't. I don't give a fuck what you think. You were not asked. Mr. Perry, I don't care what you think. You were not asked. You were asked to cease and desist all forms of all contact, all invasion of my privacy, all of your fucking smear campaign. This is today, because you wouldn't fuck off and leave me alone. Mike's still in jail. I'm still getting my privacy invaded, and you still taking my money. Get out of my wallet. Get out of my home. If it's, I said you can make amends and get Michael home, and there might be some mercy on our court. Do it or not. I don't care. We're going to do it with or without your help. If we can get shit like that, and you got 3,700 emails about what you just said, you were trying to do something to hurt me, and Philip has 3 times that, and we've got 10 times that, get a grip on reality already. Get a grip on reality, Mr. Perry. So this guy's like, anyone can see she's just trying to fucking do the right thing here. She's not trying to hurt him. She's trying to get away from him. Defending a police officer is not illegal. Defending a police officer that just took a report about something I didn't know who did it, but maybe you. You made it look like, yeah, absolutely you did it. Defending a police officer who is accused of a murder by beatdown, who has no evidence that he was in any fight at all, is not illegal. You don't like your crime being exposed. Boo fucking who? You are all girled up all the fucking time. Women don't like that. Women don't like that. Look, find a lesbian. Girls don't like men that act like a girl. Be responsible. Personal responsibility. You heard of it? I fucked up. I made a mistake. I hurt somebody. I hurt them intentionally. And now I need to make it right. That's what men do. And they don't hurt women. So you have 40 men that think just like that man in that video I just showed that don't like you, Mr. Perry. And they're police. Police is fit, Mr. Perry. Shut the fuck up. No one asked you what you think. Listen, write it down. I didn't ask you what you think. I don't care. Quit trying to talk to me like you think I care what you think. I don't. I don't care what you think. I don't care. Quit trying to talk to me, sir, like you think I do. I don't care. Put it together in your head. When you fuck with me, and the longer he's in prison for what you did, the more mad everybody gets. And what they won't say to your face, they absolutely say behind your back. We're sick of you. You're an imposition and a burden. And you have been for a really fucking long time. So when we say something to you and you don't respond appropriately, that goes to the judge. That goes to the shrink. How embarrassing for you. How embarrassing for you. And that's what this gentleman was just saying. Do you see a mark on this man that looks like he was in a fight? You don't, because he wasn't in a fight. He didn't kill anybody. You tried to kill him. You tried to drug him the same way you gave me arsenic trying to drug me. And you did the same thing to him you did me. When we didn't die, you arranged a false arrest. That is disgusting, sir. It's not tolerated in the civilized society we live in right now. And you're seeing things happen you have never seen before because you will not stop. You will not stop. You have no control over yourself. I'm studying criminology, and over and over and over, everything I study, the criminologists continue to say the same things. Those who are involved in criminal activity have a low IQ and no self-control. You aren't in control of a fucking thing. This is what somebody looks like. He was in a fight. He was hit 3 times. He said, I had a beer in my hand. It didn't even slosh out. And then everybody left. He didn't hit back. Everybody walked away and went home safe and sound. But look at his face, Mr. Perry. And look at him. Who the fuck do you think you're fooling? I just gave him, this man right here, a report about vandalism to my car. You had been threatening it, and threatening it, and threatening it, and threatening it. So I told him, no one saw who did this. But it's probably these guys I'm suing. I have a stalker, and he does weird-ass shit. I don't know anybody else that would do something like this. How embarrassing for you. That's the other thing I'm asking the shrink. Why the fuck is he not embarrassed by the ick that he is? He embarrasses the hell out of me. She finally said to me, Cynthia, stop. I can give you the name of a disease. It's not going to help you understand him. You're not going to understand him. You can never relate to him because your mind is normal and his is not. He's diseased and you're not. Right now, focus on how you get through this and how we catch a bad guy, and this is over. And that will help you more than if I sit here and tell you the name of a disease. It's still not going to help you understand why the fuck he's not embarrassed. He should be. He never responds appropriately to the words said to him, ever. I'm reading through his emails. It looks like he has no idea what the person is trying to say to him. He acts like he has no clue. Something's wrong with him. You think? So she's advised me to focus on other things that I can do something about and stop sitting around worrying why you're not embarrassed as you've embarrassed everybody else. So, listen, we're tired of it. Stop contacting me. Please understand the words I'm saying. I don't care what you think. You know what I care about? What in the fuck his family is going to go through at Christmas and the Millers. What they're going to feel this Christmas. Their families are blown up, and you did that on purpose, and you did it because you thought he was a leak. Did the leak stop? No. You got a lot of them, sir. Everybody's sick and tired of you. Basically, when you get told on what's being said to you, the message that should send is, we're not tolerating your conduct in a civilized society. You're operating far, 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 far outside social norms, and everybody's sick and tired of you. We're sick and tired of it. I don't like you, Mr. Perry. I'm not in love with you. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to get a date with me. I'm doing my best to help you go to jail so you can't hurt any more people like that guy and his wife and his son and the Millers. So you can't hurt me anymore. So you can't take my money anymore. I'll never be broke again. Ever. So you can't call my family anymore. Say this to her. Say that to her. Ask her about this. Ask her about that. Which you were going to do this weekend, weren't you? Only you took my money, so I didn't have the money to go out there. And I could have busted my butt and tried to get some. My guy goes, nope, let it go. They're going to do something to you. Let it go. Over and over and over, you get told on and told on and told on and told on and told on because you disgust everybody. You're disturbing people, sir. You're creeping everybody out. Your conduct is offensive. Write it down. I'm tired of repeating myself. You're never getting a date with me. You have to be normal to ride this ride. And you can't do it. You can't control yourself. You have no control. Low IQ, no self-control. Criminologists tell us. And Lonnie Evans at Seton Hall, Mr. Perry, said only 1% of the country, only 1% of the population can't keep up with everybody else. And they use their child abuse as an excuse to fail. He was also abused as a child. He goes through a whole thing. He's got a book on victimization and brutalization, subjugation, violent subjugation. You guys do that to me every day. Try to violently subjugate me. And every day I stand up to you like nobody you've ever seen in your life and tell you, look you right in the eye, monster. I said no. I said no. I said stop. And you're seeing things happen you've not ever seen in your life before. You are caught in your crime more than you have ever been caught before. You have a little meeting and you get told on. And then you have another little meeting and then you get told on again. And then you have another little meeting and you get told on again. And let's just wait till the dust settles and we'll try again. Okay, now we got not just one recording of you, we got 50. Ringtone Richard. How embarrassing for you. It isn't being tolerated in a civilized society, and this man didn't kill anybody, and everybody knows it. And when I had my deposition with Mitchell and Myers, let me tell you something. I'm telling the Florida State's attorney in January and then again in March, this guy didn't kill anybody. He was drugged, and you didn't run a full tox panel. They did at the hospital, but there's a thing called chemistry. He's given opioids, which makes him pass out, which makes Lucky start arguing with the offender, which makes the offender then kill Lucky. There's a chemical makeup, composition of chemicals that made Officer Neely pass out. At that moment is when the blood test should have been taken, because once he's given Narcan and he starts to come to, what that means is the chemical composition in his body changed. Forensic science, you little bitch. You're a murderer. We're sick of you. You've done this for a long time, and until now, you got away with it. And I told you 5 years ago, not this time. Not this time. What about Mary Beth? What about Mary Beth? I'm talking to Randy Reeves on September 15th, 2011. We arranged a conference phone call with Mr. Perry to talk about strategy. Mr. Reeves was my client, also extremely conservative. Maybe more conservative even than Charles Perry is. And he's looking at running for state senate against Kel Seliger. So we meet with Mr. Perry. We want to know kind of the rumblings in Austin about all that. He says, I'm going to go to a men's prayer breakfast. Oh, really? And pray to who? Satan? How do you stand it? How do you be a pretend Christian and stand going to all the men's prayer breakfasts and just sit there and fake it? How do you do that? I don't even know. Anyways, he goes in. We have the conversation. In the middle of the conversation, Mr. Perry says something about being in Billings and having been in Montana. Wow, okay, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? He never responds appropriately to the words said to him. Can't put it together. What's going on here? You can't do it. There's part of your brain, it's black. If they did a brain scan, it's black. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. But you know, there's things that people can do. There's Asperger's people with Asperger's and autism that are taught how to conduct themselves in a way that's not offensive. They don't just know. There's part of their brain, it's not working. They don't know. They have no idea that you need to show some emotion, and when you hurt somebody's feelings, act like you're sorry. They have to be taught. They have behavioral coaches, and you need one. So, this guy brings up, I've just been in Billings, Montana, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? That's not, anyways, whatever. And we go back to, bring him back to the points of the conversation. And later, years later, my guys go, listen to this. There was a woman named Mary Beth, sometimes goes by Beth, beat to death and dumped at a lake just outside Billings, found completely naked. And Googling, what in the fuck? I Google it. Sure as shit, there's a lake just outside Billings. So Perry finds out, because he types in my phone, he burned her clothes, he said. She didn't like his weird sex. So he knocks her out with chloroform, takes her downstairs. They were in a hotel. Takes her downstairs. Somebody saw him. He tells these people she's drunk. I'm taking her home. He did take her to a lake just outside Billings, burned her clothes in a nearby campsite, so there's no forensic science. Guess what? He's an accountant. And I find out when I first start suing, I got to look into things. Got to research your opponent, right? I find out he is on the board of the Forensic Nurses Association. And you go, why would an accountant be interested in forensic science? Unless he's a killer, a serial. 3 or more people with a cooling off period. Remember, I'm in criminal justice school, Mr. Perry. I was raised, even if I wasn't, I was raised in a whole family of cops. Who better to catch this bad guy than someone with law enforcement background? Groomed in a police department, pretty much. My granddad was a chief. My dad was a detective. He did forgery. My great-granddad was the captain of detectives. They were in Startling magazines for solving a murder. There wasn't any evidence. They didn't have DNA shit back then. This was in like 1968. They didn't hardly have nothing like what we have now. Now, we have technology that can identify you based on your gait, the way you walk. It's pretty cool. So facial recognition has been kind of, iffy at times. Now they've got gait technology. They can identify you based on the way you walk. Cool. Anyways, so Mr. Perry, when you try to frame me for something, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You can also they're not using fingerprints as much anymore because people are duplicating fingerprints. So at this point, there's a new technology where people can get into it in and out of a building. It's the security method at this point. They're scanning your hand. You've got unique vein structure in your hand. You can't duplicate that. Forensic science is moving along. It's pretty cool. Anyways, so you burned her clothes. You beat her with a rock, cracked her skull in two. They tell me. How many are there? And then Justice Scalia dies in West Texas right when you were planning this fake harassment charge. We're going to perpetrate a fraud upon the highest court of the land. Every inmate was pissed. They told me about it, Mr. Perry. I've emailed about it. You don't even know all the emails that Philip and Ted have about that very thing. Ted picked me up from jail in the first false arrest. And I said, everybody in there said, he's going to harass me. He's going to make me think he's leaving me alone. Like the bond conditions. Charles Perry admitted he was stalking and he agreed to leave me alone. But the plan was actually send her home, harass the shit out of her, take her money, fuck with her car, mess with her at work, say creepy things to her, watch her in her house, and then when she talks about it, we'll claim she's harassing us. But Justice Scalia would not have put up with that. He goes hunting in West Texas right when they're planning all that and dies. And everybody that took care of the post-mortem stuff did it wrong. William O'Ritchie, who's a former homicide commander, Mr. Perry, not a detective. He's a murder cop, but he's the commander, says, wait a minute, had he died in D.C., there would have been protocol followed that wasn't followed in West Texas. Something's wrong. Yeah. And now the bond conditions, sir, and the harassment email bring even more suspicion to that death and the time and the place of it, and to you, linking you, sir, as a possible suspect. So you've got Chief Miller, you've got Mary Beth, and you've got a Supreme Court judge. I can imagine you must be feeling pretty powerful when you can do that, and it looks like you're getting away with it, but you're not. Because if I'm quoting you 3,700 times, Mr. Perry, I don't think you're getting away with shit. That's the harassment email, one of many. How many are there? Do you even know? This was before you went into court and made that claim even recently. You've done it twice now. So you can't say, oh no, we had no such plan. You did it twice. 3,700 emails. She sent us 3,700 emails. We're being harassed. Actually, Judge, no. The truth is, and I attached this email and he ignored it. He ignored it. They had a plan. The plan was malicious. The plan was intended to cause me an injury in the state of Oklahoma. The plan was we're going to harass the fuck out of her. We got contacts in the Forum State. We got Pinto. We got Mickey James. We got Terry Wagner. We're going to go into court and lie because we think we can. So you did that, and you had him dismiss it on the 17th. And then you had a plan on the 18th. You're going to have people say this to me and say that to me. We got to get her key from her. We got to get, well, have somebody take her outside to look at her car and then get her driver's license. Do this, do that. I heard all about it, Mr. Perry, because you keep getting caught because you're fucking with the wrong people this time. The more you mess with me, the more you get caught, the more you get told on. And yes, I'm trying to do the right thing. And thank you, sir, for whoever said that. This is the Narcan. He was treated with Narcan. Not for being beat up in a fight. The longer he sits in jail, the harder my guys are going at you to stop your crime. That is the right thing. You're causing suffering. My granddad taught me, as lawmen, we are called to relieve suffering caused by crime. And that doesn't just go for lawmen. That goes for anybody and everybody that can. And for the first time in your life, you are facing a monster machine who doesn't like your crime. Like you have no idea. You don't even know. You took my money so I couldn't make it. Nanny, noo. That backfired on you, didn't it? Nanny, noo. So, there you go. You butt into something that didn't concern you. You made a phone call. You held up money that it's not your business, is it? Then I couldn't even afford to go to your little scheme. And I can tell you right now, my family does not like being used by you to hurt me. You know how I haven't even talked to them about it. You know how I know that, though? Because all my life I've known these people, Charles. That's my family. I know what they'll do in normal circumstances and what they'll do if somebody's making them. They don't hurt people. That's not their way. They're not going to throw me under the bus unless somebody told them they have no choice. Like Hitler. Kill the Jew or I'm going to kill you. Psychological torture. So I'm going to tell you something right now. What people won't say to your face, I'm saying to your face. They are saying it behind your back. And more than ever in your life, you're caught. Why did you coax Mike to Pensacola? Why did you ask me about it? Because you wanted to know if I know who got on the phone, called Officer Neely, and said, go to Pensacola. Kind of like you wanted me to do something on the 18th. And I didn't do it. Kind of like you've wanted me back at the strip club, and I didn't go. You got a plan. Your plan is malicious. Your intent is to cause an injury and a harm. And you've done that for now a decade to me. And when you do it to me, you get caught 3,700 times that you know of. Go into court again and lie. I dare ya. By another judge. I dare ya. You do what you do. And then don't whine and complain like you're a victim. This is the arrest report. Even the arrest report says he had nothing on him but an injury caused after the fight by hotel staff when they pulled him off and threw him face first into the floor. He had a red swollen right hand. Yeah, Detective Fife, you got an IV in the right hand. It might be red and swollen because of the IV. You are super cop. Gold star for you, Detective Martinez. Yeah, we do not like him. We think he needs to find a different job. So today we get this, Mr. Perry, because you're making everybody mad again today. Fucking with me and fucking with me and fucking with me and fucking with me, and you still can't put it together. You're like a dog chasing his tail, and we're sitting all back here laughing at you. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, you don't get a date. You're never going to get a date. You make my skin crawl. You're repulsive. But you do get told on, and it's the same thing day after day after day after day after day, and you are not putting that together, and we don't even know what to say to that. We've not seen anybody that slow, ever. I had patients with Down syndrome. I had a lady that was like 30-something, and she had Down syndrome, and it was like talking to a 6-year-old. She had bad lymphedema. Very, very bad. And I took her to meet Congresswoman Heather Wilson. And when Congresswoman Heather Wilson met her, she started crying. This woman just had this thing about her that just made you love her. And guess what? She had a job. She was doing very well. And she could outthink you, Mr. Perry, in her sleep. You are that pathetic. You embarrass me that much. And it is that ridiculous that 3,700 emails. And this isn't enough for you to see the cause and effect. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, your crime gets caught more and more and more and more, and you will never get a date with me, sir. You are off your nut. If you don't like getting told on, if you don't like getting caught, get the fuck out of my life. Do not call my family again, ever. Do not call my kids again, ever. Do not contact me again, ever. Do not buy a judge again, ever. Because I promise you, there will be legal consequences for all of it. Don't call my school. Don't call anybody I know. Quit hacking, quit peeping, and fuck off. You don't have a choice. When you do it, you get caught. When you do it, you get told on. And that has happened to you since you met me, since you targeted me more than ever in your life. And you are not putting that together. And it is insane that by now you can't. Nobody's that slow. Leave me alone. I'm not in love with you. You're never going to get a date with me. Get a grip on reality. Control yourself. And go act like a normal dude. Go work. Go spend time with your family. And leave me the fuck alone. So this guy now is making a proper observation. She's just trying to do the right thing. He is not a victim. He's making everybody mad. So now you got people talking behind his back. And he can't get that. When you operate outside social norms, people don't like it. When you commit a crime, people don't like you. When you do things people don't like, they don't like you. They're going to start talking. They're going to start doing things that they need to do. So you're gone. And we don't have to deal with you anymore. Put it together in your head. When you bother me, when you cause hardship for me, when you cause drama for me, the longer Mike Neely sits in jail. He didn't kill anybody. You tried to kill him. You did the same thing to him you tried to do to me. How awful are you? What a monster. And you're being stopped. You can't control yourself. You're being stopped. It's being done for you. And this guy's right. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave everybody the fuck alone. Stop being a burden. Stop being an imposition. Go live your life in Lubbock with your family, your friends, and your constituents. And leave me the fuck alone. Write this down. You always, every day, make my skin crawl. I think you're a turnoff. You are not going to get a date with me ever. You are a job. Catch the bad guy. You're a job. Leave me alone. Oh, and on a whole different note. Okay, so yesterday I filed a notice of appeal. And I'm walking. So you walk in and there's like an entrance exit by the parking garage. And so there's like, I don't know, 6 deputies sitting there. And you go through the metal detector. Then you can take an elevator or you can take an escalator upstairs to the clerk's office. When you go up the escalator, you pass by another entrance. Okay, so I just walk by that. I've never really paid attention to it. But yesterday when I'm coming down the escalator, I'm thinking maybe I should go out that way. It's closer. So I walk out and I'm trying to make sure I understand where I am in the building in relationship to the parking garage. And I asked the deputy, so where's this go out to? And he goes, that goes out to Denver Street. And I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's a little cold. I like actually walking outside, so it would have been a little further, but if it wasn't so cold, I would have done it, because I enjoy walking outside. But anyways, I'm telling the guy, I looked at the way this was all set up, and I'm like, I think they should shut this down right here. I really feel like they should shut this down. I don't think they should have this open. And he kind of looked at me and he goes, there's not really a lot of people coming in and out now. Yeah. So I'm seeing this coming from the background that I come from in law enforcement. My whole family's police. I'm in criminal justice. I mean, how do you think I'm going to think? I'm in right now a situation which I'm being stalked and all that crap. So I've got a heightened level of, I don't know what you call it. I notice things probably most people wouldn't notice. There's a word, all of a sudden it left my brain. You got a heightened level of awareness, and when you're being stalked, you don't have a choice. You have to. So and I think there's even another exit that I haven't looked at all. I've never ever even looked at it. But when I can tell you this, when I go into the federal building, it's like they got two entrances and they're very, very close together. And there's about 5 United States Marshals standing there, and you have to go through the metal detector and up an elevator. You can't even get in the rest of the courthouse until you pass through that little area. It's it's kind of a small area, so there's a very little chance somebody could walk in and go postal and hurt a whole lot of people. It could happen. Anything can happen, but that's why the marshals are there. When you do emergency management, you have to think about what could happen. Like 9/11. I mean, there's things that can be prevented when you start looking at what could happen. So if this happens, you do what ifs, different scenarios. If this happens, if this happens, if this happens, we gotta put protective measures in, doing this, and this. The problem that we think we have in America in some of the emergency management situations that we set up are that we do it after there's a crisis, after there's an emergency. Oh shit, maybe we should have, some guy lost custody of his kids, walks in a courthouse and starts shooting everybody, or a school, and then we put metal detectors in. Well, why did we not have that in before? The best way to handle a crisis is before there is a crisis. So I'm looking at that entrance on Denver. I know police listen to me. I'm thinking because there's little traffic there, there's not a lot of, it's not manned as much. I'm saying you need to lock that up and make it where people just go in the one where there's a lot of more people. If somebody walks in and they try to hurt somebody, they could get tackled, because even citizens will step up and provide an assist. And so you've got all those deputies there. You've got citizens that would provide an assist. It's going to be a whole lot harder for somebody to get very far at all at that one entrance by the parking garage and versus the one by Denver. And that fucking scares me, because you come up, you go up the escalator to do your whatever you need to do in the clerk's office. So it's a lot faster than waiting for the fucking elevator. And then as you're coming down, I'm thinking somebody could come in and bust it and shoot me. I don't want to get shot. I don't want anybody to get shot. If I don't want me to get shot, I don't want anybody to get shot. But I'm thinking that's a dangerous area, or do something to make us feel safe. I don't feel safe with that there. I would feel safe if it's locked up and everybody has to go in by the parking garage or the other one. I haven't seen I think there's another entrance. I haven't seen it. But I have seen the parking garage one where I always come in that way. And I feel safe there because there's a lot of deputies and there's a lot of people. And if somebody tried to hurt everybody in there, they wouldn't last very long. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't be able to do it for long. The Denver one I feel is different because there's not as much traffic there. There's not as much people to protect me or anybody else as there is at the other entrance. I will always go in the one by the parking garage, and now probably always take an elevator, because that scared the shit out of me for some reason. I'm just saying, I'd rethink that. And as soon as he's pointing out, oh, this is Denver, and I'm going, okay, that's a street. That's a street. Somebody's going to come in right off the street where there's nobody here and do all kinds of, they could do some harm. And like I said, the best way to address a crisis is before there is one. And I looked at that guy, that deputy, and I go, they need to shut this down. If something bad's going to happen, it's going to be right there. And it was kind of scary. I'm in a situation where I'm thinking about that kind of thing all the time. I don't have a choice. So I'm just telling you guys, I'd look at it, or do something where people feel safe walking down those up and down the escalators. And probably most people don't even consider possibility of this could happen or that could happen or the what ifs. I do. And so the best time to consider what to do about something that could happen is before, not after. And that's the mistake I think we make sometimes in America is we don't think about things beforehand. And actually, in 9/11, um, so one of my favorite shows is The Looming Towers on Hulu. I would recommend everybody watch it. It is the story about. It's true. It's a true story. It's the story about an FBI agent named John O'Neill. John O'Neill had some problems with his own personal life, and he shouldn't have done some things he did. But what he did do right is he predicted 9/11. He tried his very best to get information on what the plan was because he knew there was a plan. And he didn't get some cooperation with foreign governments, and they got it after Mr. O'Neill died. He gets fired from the FBI for the personal problems that he had. He goes to work as security, head of security at the World Trade, and he was killed in that building that day. But the thing is before 9/11, he's working for the FBI, and he's telling everybody they're gonna hit the towers again. They're gonna hit the towers again. All I want to do is find out how and why and when and where so that it doesn't happen. And he did his best. He tried his best. And it is ironic that he was killed in that building that day. It's very sad. But he gave his life trying to prevent that whole thing. And in my opinion, that's a dangerous situation at that door. It's just the traffic is too low. It's got easy access. It's open. It's exposed. I feel like you should lock it up. I feel like people need to go in the door by the what do you call it? By the parking garage, and nowhere. And I don't know about the other one. I didn't. Even, I think there's another exit. I've not seen it. I haven't looked at it. Maybe that one's fine. But the one right off Denver, I'm telling you, it's not. It doesn't look right to me. It looks exposed. It looks risky. It looks like a potential for a tragedy. So I think if there's people like me, I didn't get the ruling I wanted. Okay, so we focus on what's the next step. I lost custody of my child. You didn't see me go in I lost custody of my child, and everybody knows that was not fair. So, but you didn't see me go in a courthouse with a gun. I don't even have a gun. I've never had a gun. I have no interest in getting a gun. I have no problem with people that want to get a gun. I don't want one. So I didn't go postal, and I didn't. But some people do. And so, you guys who are cops, that if you talk to Tulsa County Sheriff's Department or whatever, please think about that because it looks to me dangerous and risky. And before there's a tragedy, deal with it right now. So if there's not one ever, and I don't know what all that would entail, I'd lock the fucking doors up. No one goes in and out that one. They go in and out the one by the parking garage or maybe the other one, and then you don't have to worry about it. And if there's a fire, then you have some kind of protocol in place where you got a couple of deputies that go open it up for everybody. But I'd lock that fucking up. I think that is a tragedy waiting to happen. So that's the side note, and we're signing off.